guys, welcome to Fans Be Like Game of Thrones edition. It finally happened after 595 days of waiting. Yeah, it really has been that long. Check the Kingslayer memes. Game of Thrones finally premiered April 14th, 2019. It was a hell of an event. So much hype, so much buildup, so much insanity. And did it pay off? Yeah, mostly. But then again, it's only episode 1 and we really do have a long way to go. So in this first episode entitled, Yes, I Totally Fucked My Aunt, you see a caravan of soldiers marching into Winterfell, and it's all the characters that we know and love. And Arya is watching from afar, and she sees Gendry, and she sees Jon Snow. And wait, holy shit, is that the Hound? So yeah, this episode was really all about a lot of reunions and rekindlings, which I thought was really awesome. I mean, the whole payoff of Game of Thrones for people who've been watching since season 1 is for any sort of reunion between the Starks. I mean, our lovely family that's just been thrown hither and thither through this whole show across Westeros and Essos, and now they're finally back together. The surviving ones are back together. And the showrunners play those moments beautifully. Arya and Jon have a very warm reunion. Arya and the Hound have a very, like a perfect reunion for who they were to each other, you know, assassin and badass sort of thing. And just as I predicted, I had a feeling that when Daenerys Targaryen came through the gates of Winterfell, that Sansa Stark was not really going to be rolling out the welcome mat, and that's true. She does not trust this Targaryen girl at all, and I understand she does not trust Jon anymore because he's no longer the king in the north. He gave up his crown and bent the knee to fight with and for the Targaryens. But the thing that people keep forgetting, they're talking about houses and the thrones and kingdoms, and Jon's like, hello, fucking zombies. So for whatever reason, things aren't progressing along fast enough with the Night King. But I really have a feeling that this episode was so warm and so family driven because it's the calm before the bloodstorm. I mean, no one died. No one died except for a few boatmen on Euron Greyjoy's flagship where Theon had to sail in and save Yara, and I knew she was going to like belt him or kick him or headbutt him or something for his bullshit act of jumping off the boat last season. But still, nobody died. There were actual odds makers in Vegas who made these bets and these brackets, and so many people lost money because there was money put down on first death, first betrayal, first major character off in the first premiere episode. Nobody died. But again, I really think they're just sort of giving us, here's your payoff, here's your warmth. Next week, we're going to start Game of Thrones. Is that okay? Is that, you know, but still, there was some really, really cool stuff going on. The actors, I mean, as long as we've waited for this episode, it really felt like it was just business as usual. The narrative picks up right away, and you know, we realize we're dealing with threats for the Night King. Sansa tells Tyrion that she doesn't believe for a word that Cersei is going to send the Lannister army to help them in battle. They're having trouble amassing men from left and right. House Umber is pretty much kaput, and the Starks are fighting with the Karstarks for the first time in generations, which is really impressive because they're old enemies. And Jon Snow rides a dragon. All right, he actually puts his leg astride Rhaegal and takes off for the sky, and him and Daenerys on Drogon do a sort of a dance, like I don't know, like a dance of dragons or something stupid sounding like that. And it's really a cool sequence. And they fly through the snowlands, and they land in a place where Jon Snow used to hunt, and they further their romance. Speaking of romance, we do get a 3-way scene right off the bat, rather a 4-way scene. Bronn, the awesome sellsword, is doing his business down in King's Landing with the few maidens, and he's interrupted by the last person you want to be interrupted, that prick Maester Qyburn. And then he's put on his own mission to go assassinate the traitorous Lannister brothers, namely Tyrion and Jaime. And I think the coolest moment, well, one of the coolest moments in the show was they saved Jaime Lannister's arrival for the last, 10 seconds. And when Jaime shows up, who does he lock eyes with but the kid that he threw off the damn tower all those years ago, Brandon Stark, who I think at this point is a cyborg. But, I mean, even from the beginning of the show, this was so fucking cool. The the intro with the Clockwork Puzzle, that the model that shows where we're going through the show and everything like that, it has been taken from like this level to this level, because not only are you just sailing above the lands and zigzagging from place to place, now you actually dive into the inner workings of Westeros, and you go through crypts and caverns and hidden passages and stuff, and it's awesome. And of course, as usual, it ends at King's Landing, but this time the camera takes you sailing directly into the Iron Throne. And we were just watching just watching the credits, we were all cheering and having a really, really good time. I mean, it's just, the bottom line is Game of Thrones is back, and it is so back, and we're just really, really happy to have it. Questions. I mean, there are definitely questions coming up. Are Sansa and Daenerys going to squash this beef and be able to help defend the North? Jon Snow, who found out about his true lineage, that he's not Jon Snow, but is actually Aegon Targaryen, heir to the Iron Throne. That was told to him by Samwell Tarly. What is he going to do with that little bit of information? Is he going to tell it to Daenerys, keep it to himself? Maybe they form some sort of a union and decide a king and a queen going into battle are better than what? We just don't know. I have no idea. And what the hell is that super weapon that Arya wants Gendry to make inside the forge? We saw kind of a glimpse of it. It looked like a sort of spear shooter. I don't know. Definitely something to combat the Night King, I'm sure. Anyway, guys, I think that's all for now. We will definitely be checking in with you again next week after the episode. Please leave your comments right there. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and be into Fans Be Like, because that's what we are. Fans Be Like, all right? Anyway, I'm Matt Beller. I will see you next week. And my eyes were always blue!